This is one bad thing about every Treyarch Zombies map, and I made a different video for this as one good thing about every Zombies map. I consider you to check that out, as that list was much easier to make than this one, as I naturally just kind of enjoy things, so this list was hard for me to make. Knocked during Toten. I found this map to be incredibly slow, especially in the opening rounds, so it makes the beginning of the games pretty boring and lackluster. Verrucht. I couldn't really find anything wrong with Verrucht, as I actually quite enjoy this map for everything that it is. I will say the Black Ops 1 version has the Winter's Howl, so I picked that for today. Shi no Numa. For me, this map is just kind of boring, but if I had to pick another thing, it'd probably be the water. Riese. Another map similar to Verrucht that I couldn't really find anything wrong with necessarily, so I picked the Chronicles version Easter egg reward. I feel like the Annihilator just wasn't the best reward. I mean, of course, I don't want it to be something that is really overpowered because the Easter egg is pretty straightforward, but I think, you know, something better than the Annihilator would be nice. Keynote or Toten. For Keynote, I'd probably have to say the Nova Crawlers. They can get kind of a nuisance there very quickly. 5. Similar to the Verrucht version, we have the Winter's Howl for this. The Winter's Howl is just not good. I'm sorry, it's just not good. Ascension. For Ascension, I said the high rounds get really boring. They get boring after a while because there's so many places to train on the map. You could technically mix it up and be like, on this round, I'm going to train over here, and on this round, I'm going to train over here. But that's not typically how that works, and you're kind of just going to be running in a circle for 100 rounds. Call of the Dead. This map crashes a lot when you're doing high rounds, so again, I couldn't really find anything necessarily wrong with Call of the Dead. The map crashing has got to be on the top of the list. Shangri-La. For Shang, I'm going to have to say the Pack-a-Punch system when you're on co-op, especially if you're online. Coordinating opening up the Pack-a-Punch on a 4-player cooperative game online with no microphones is nearly impossible to do. Moon. Y'all know how I feel about Moon by now. I'm going to have to give it to the low gravity. I'm just not a big fan. It's aesthetically, it makes sense for the map. I'm not saying it doesn't. I just don't like it for my own personal reasons. Transit. Much like Shang, I'm going to give it up to the Pack-a-Punch system. You're entirely on, especially on solo, it's basically you just hoping that no one has destroyed the turbine by the time you're able to get back to town. Die Rise. For me, it's the map layout. I actually like Die Rise, and I would love the concept of a skyscraper verticality-based map, but just how it's structured, I don't know how I would improve it technically, but I'm not like a game developer, I'm not a map developer, so I don't know how I would fix it, but it does suck if your friend goes down anywhere on Die Rise that you aren't already at, because there's no hope in reviving them. They're gone. They're passing on. Mob of the Dead. For this, I'm gonna have to say the Easter egg steps. Ah, almost got you. I think you thought I was gonna say the Easter egg itself. It's not. I love the story of Mob of the Dead's Easter egg. The steps, however, is going to the Golden Gate Bridge 3 times, and to me, that's just it could be more spicy. Buried. The high rounds are too easy. I mean, you have the subsurface resonator, you've got turbines, you've got the paralyzer, you got the Mark IIs, you got the time little machine grenade thing that throws you back in time. You got a way to get free perks through the witch's house. Buried is just, it's too easy of a high round. And for some days, in some moods, that's totally a vibe for me. But if I had to pick one thing, I would pick the Buried, being too easy. Origins. For Origins, I picked the Mud. Again, I love Origins. It's one of my favorite maps of all time, but if I had to pick one singular thing, it's just gonna be running through the mud. Shadows of Evil. Now, this is gonna sound like, oh, Justin's the Black Ops 3 fanboy. He can't find anything wrong with Shadows of Evil, and to an extent, you are right. But I will say, if I was forced, like gun to my head, I had to pick one single thing about Shadows of Evil. It is the fact that a lot of casual or newer Zombies players around that time, they did want to play Shadows. I've heard a lot of people say, I like to watch Shadows of Evil, but I don't like to play it because it takes too long to set up. It's too complicated. And in a way, Shadows of Evil, I mean, BO3 had the perfect launch because it came out with Riese and Shadows of Evil packaged. So it's perfect, but if you're looking at Shadows alone, you could see it as kind of a gatekeeping map. It was definitely more focused towards the more die-hard Zombies fan base, and I love Shadows of Evil. I think objectively it's the greatest map of all time, but I can see the side from a casual audience that doesn't like Shadows of Evil. Der Eisendrache. Another map that I really struggled to find something for, but I will say that on Der Eisendrache, there are 4 bow upgrades, and the 2 easiest bows to upgrade are the best bows. And I don't know if I don't like that or if I do like that, because obviously I love the ease of access of getting the storm bow really, really fast, but getting the best bow and putting in the least amount of effort could be seen as a weird give and take there. Zetsubou No Shima. For me, the steps feel kind of tedious. The Easter egg itself isn't difficult, the boss fight isn't difficult, the map itself isn't too difficult, but the steps themselves just feel tedious to me. Garad Krovi. Another map I really struggled to find something I didn't like about, but I will say that the trophy steps during the Easter egg are the bane of my existence. Revelations. Similar to Buried, I picked 2 easy in terms of high rounds. They gave you the Apothicon Servant, they gave you the Thunder Guns, they gave you Ragnaroks, you got Gobblegums. There's too many ways to hit round 100 on Revelations. Voyage of Despair. I don't like a lot of things about Voyage of Despair, but for today's video, I picked the map layout it confuses me. Maybe I just need to get good. It's a skill issue on Voyage of Despair, but the map layout just confuses me. 9. For me, this has got to be the raw temple step during the Easter egg. Having the symbols popping, maybe it's not the raw, but for this video, we'll say it's the raw. Having the symbols pop on the pillar and having to take out zombies in that correct order. I cannot tell you the amount of times that I have been like 1 away from completing that step and then having a fire zombie just blow up near me. I cannot tell you the amount of times that has happened without me even knowing that it had happened. Blood of the Dead. For Blood of the Dead, we picked the Easter egg is too dependent on the shield. For a lot of the Easter egg, I completely am for the shield being a necessity. But once you get to the challenges and how you need to blast the panel to put in the code, you need to blast the orb to start the challenge, and then all of the challenges require anywhere between 2 to 5 shield blasts when usually there's only a cap of 4 on the shield. Like, either give us more shield blast capabilities or like a limitless shield capability where we could just keep storing charges the entire Easter egg, or just make the challenges start by just interacting with the orb. Dead of the Night. For Dead of the Night, we picked the part locations as there's a bajillion of them and there's a bajillion places they could be. Ancient Evil. This is gonna have to be the beam defense step. I don't remember exactly what this one is called, but holy brother, when you have to put the hand in there and it has to shoot the beam, and then you have to defend the beam from anything walking in front of it, and it wouldn't even be too difficult, but just the fact that if something is in front of it, like anything is in front of that beam for 2 seconds, you just fail the step entirely. Just bang, done, you're done. Alpha Omega. On the surface, I couldn't find anything. I just have a bad vendetta against Nuketown, so I picked that it's Nuketown. I mean, we had Nuketown in Black Ops 1, we had Nuketown in Black Ops 2 as a zombies map and a multiplayer map, we had Nuketown in Black Ops 3, we had Nuketown in Blackout, and then we had Nuketown again in Alpha Omega, and I'm done seeing Nuketown. I'm over it by now. Tog or Toten. For Tog, we picked the Tundra Gun. Like, you have the Thunder Gun, you have the Wonderwaff Sniper, you have equipment. Why did you make a less proficient version of the Thunder Gun with the Tundra Gun? Why did you do this? Why did you do this to us? D Maschine. For D Maschine, I picked lacking content. Like, I like the map layout, I like the Wonder Weapon, I like the Easter egg steps. They're a tad easy, but I like them. They're pretty straightforward. I'm a Cold War fanboy. I like Cold War, but the map lacks content. There's not enough side stuff and enough interactions for me to do to keep me invested in the map long term. Firebase Z. Anyone who's been around for a while knows that I despise the Firebase Z mimic step with a passion, and I will pick that every single opportunity I have when someone asks me what's wrong with Firebase Z. Mauer or Toten. Another map I really struggled to find something wrong with, so I just picked the bunny Easter egg, as on D Maschine, the bunny Easter egg got you Juggernaut, potentially a Wonder Weapon. It was really easy to do. Firebase Z got you Juggernaut, potentially a Wonder Weapon, and was pretty easy to do. You had some extra steps, but it was pretty easy. The Mauer or Toten bunny Easter egg is more challenging. It's really difficult to do early on, and the rewards for it are kind of awful. Forsaken. The Easter egg was too short. By the time you're set up on the map, you're into the boss fight. It needed more spice. It needed more things to do. Well, there you have it. There is our list for one bad thing about every Treyarch Zombies map. If you'd like me to go through and do similar videos for good or bad for the non-Treyarch Zombies map, please let me know in the comments. Otherwise, let me know what you want to see in the future. In the future, we're planning on doing more ranking videos, more conversational videos, and more tutorials, as I know a lot of you subscribe for the tutorials, so please stick around for that. But otherwise, if you're new around here, please consider hitting subscribe, as we'd love to be a part of your routine, and we will see you on the next video. Thank you very much.